everyone. I am Kyung-hee Ko, Director of Smart City Division. I would like to thank you once again who clicked this video from various parts of the world. This is online training program for foreign city public officials, and I hope the course Smart City Training Program will be helpful. Under the COVID-19 pandemic, today I would like to present Seoul Smart City Policy, with which the City of Seoul is to serve as a good exemplary city in the world. In 1950, Korea was a ruined area due to the Korean War. However, thanks to efficient and decisive fast follower policy, Seoul turned itself as a global megacity within just half a century. Now, as you can see from new terminology as so-called K-quarantine and S-quarantine, Seoul does not only follow the advanced cities. Due to the virus, the world sees 7% of fatality, while Seoul, a megacity with 10 million citizens, only sees 0.5% fatality. Seoul, Korea is receiving a spotlight based on rapid and systemic response. Then I will talk about what were the driving forces of such effective responses through my presentation, Seoul's ICT-based coronavirus response and cases. Seoul's first and foremost principles of responding against COVID-19 are transparency and speed. 6 years ago, during the outbreak of MERS, we learned a lesson that overreacting is better than delayed reacting. From the early February in 2020, we held daily briefing to deliver the information swiftly and accurately, which made citizens to rely on Seoul's policy and act together. When many countries in the world were reluctant to preemptively respond and disclose confirmed cases, Seoul and the national government decided that transparency can serve as the best vaccine, and that we transparently opened the information and aggressively enlarged the scope of free diagnostic tests, and such movement is still ongoing. Second is the responding together with citizens. People themselves keenly wore masks and washed their hands, and such new behaviors became a part of our lives, and Seoul citizens all accepted as a new normal. Citizens made masks by themselves and shared those with others, and building owners decreased the rental fee for the shop owners. Those were good acts that people served to others as vaccines. By responding together with the citizens' matured behaviors, Seoul successfully dealt with the issue without shutdown, travel ban, or preventing foreigners from entering the country. We maintained the function of cities as usual and effectively managed the spread of the virus. The third principle is introducing and implementing creative and innovative methods. COVID-19 Screening Center separates the general patients from suspected cases, and this was the idea that Seoul came up with 6 years ago during the MERS pandemic. Maybe not many of you have known about this fact. Screening Center quickly spreads nationwide because it can successfully test suspected cases and at the same time prevent the spread of the virus within the medical centers. Drive-through stations, where you can get tested inside your car, and walk-through stations, where you can get the test inside telephone booth, were developed method of tests to become an exemplary model by the world. There are, in fact, many requests and inquiries at home and abroad to learn about these methods and procedures. Likewise, beyond business as usual and through creation and innovation, we were able to expedite the tests and also secure and protect medical staff. This was all possible thanks to the effective ICT infrastructure and technology in place. From now on, I will elaborate further on Seoul's COVID-19 response by successfully utilizing ICT. As you can see on the slide, Seoul made various efforts. One is to track and manage COVID-19 confirmed cases and their contacts through big data analysis. Previously, we relied on the statement by the confirmed cases on their route, which were inaccurate and time-consuming. Seoul, cooperating with mobile carriers, utilized cell phone GPS information and card data to swiftly and accurately find out the route of confirmed cases to effectively ban the further spread of the virus. Those who closely contact with confirmed patients need to be self-isolated for 2 weeks. Due to the fast spread of the virus, effective management of isolated patients was in demand. Self-Quarantine Safety Protection app enabled people to check their health status by themselves and report to the dedicated public officials twice a day for public officers to effectively manage the confirmed patients and to find out those who move away from the place they should be staying. So far, I explained about the things we developed for the convenience of patients and medical staff. But beside these, Seoul is operating AI monitoring call system to check the health status of people who need to be monitored. This makes it easier to manage the result data, and the system is also available in English and Chinese. This system allowed Seoul public officials to reduce the level of fatigue and help them concentrate more on other urgent work. What I really want to tell you is that this is the case when Seoul citizens showed collective wisdom under the COVID-19. Just like many other foreign countries, there was when Seoul citizens had difficulty securing masks. And we have seen the price skyrocketed and monopoly in mask market. The central government has set a new system called 5-day rotation system for mask distribution and set fixed prices for masks. Smart citizens in Seoul came up with this brilliant idea and developed application using the API opened by the central government to check the inventory and number of sellers. It solved effectively the issue of mask issues during the early stages of COVID-19. This was the case when Seoul City really learned a lot from our smart Seoul citizens. The foremost important thing in responding against the disaster is communication and information sharing with citizens. That is why, besides traditional PR, we actively communicate with citizens through diverse channels, such as Digital Mayor's Office and COVID-19 webpage. We share most of the important and major information, such as status of confirmed cases and their status, location of screening centers, and inventory volume of public masks. Through this active communication and sharing with citizens, we were able to cooperate with citizens and make people participate. Under social distancing, it is inevitable to continue city cooperation and public management. In major city policies, civic participation is a must, and high-speed infrastructure in Seoul made things possible. In addition, Seoul actively introduced smart work environment, including remote working and online conferences preemptively. In order to minimize the effects of shutdown as a worst-case scenario, we have expanded the SVPN, online remote working infrastructure, to target 14,000 staff. Many experts believe that even though we overcome the COVID-19 with the invention of vaccine and medicine, there will be continuous infectious diseases that will affect us. It is said that we divide the history of humankind as BC and AD. Then what should we do in the post-coronavirus era? And what should we prepare to live with coronavirus? Diverse digital technology is changing the way we live and speeds up digital transformation. The increased use of online banking, remote work, online classes, online shopping malls, and use of kiosks have been a new lifestyle in our everyday life. Transformation from online to digital society is right in front of us. As one of the major responses of the post-coronavirus, we are discussing on Smart City. Based on the ICT cutting technology and active civic participation, we need to pursue with public interest groups to protect the private values like personal information. In order to find the right point of public value between privacy and quarantine of infectious diseases, it is necessary to discuss on the legal and institutional background as well as social and cultural environment. So, the Smart City policy that I'm going to present is based on this perspective.